Talk about what you thought was good, because again, there was so much track time. There was a ton of
Yep.
testing that I actually enjoyed, and we got Peacock viewers for all of that, right? People could see what we're doing in testing. There had to be a lot that you guys were able to use for the rest of the season that came from this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was great. Honestly, testing wise, it was great. We had a lot of track time, lots of tires. You always want more. You always want like 36 a day, but that doesn't
Tires are gold.
exist. Yeah,
Yeah, tires are
but
gold.
honestly, we had enough that we could do big changes, small changes, and that we could be on track running quite a lot. And it was fun. It was a fun weekend. It's a fun track. It's super fun to drive. It's true that the conditions change a lot, and for testing, it's not amazing with the sand and just like the track gets dirty. But still, it was amazing. It's the same for everybody. And I thought it was great. For a driver's standpoint, it was fun getting that much track time.
That's good. Let us know a little bit about the wind. For a while, like the first day, for the first little bit of testing, the first day essentially, not a ton of wind, but the wind storms like kicked up. They had to red flag the session for a little bit because it was like a hurricane going on.
Yeah.
I saw a dust tornado. I saw tents flying. And you guys were out there in the car, and I'm thinking these corners must be completely different. I would see some people just turn into turn 7 at the end of the back straight, and they would just go straight off the track. Like,
Yeah, it was bad.
Can you give people an idea of what that feels like as a driver? Like, whereas one corner might be completely awesome, and the next corner you're like, did all of my wheels fall off?
Yeah, so it felt like that. It's like when you go on a road car on the highway and suddenly you get this like massive wind coming and the car just moves a little bit. It's the same, but like times 5 or 10. Like it's big, especially being so fast and so precise on the IndyCar. A small change, you feel it a lot. And it was actually turn 6 was amazing because we had headwind and it was like a lot of grip, lots of downforce. So you got into turn 7 with lots of confidence, as you say, and suddenly you would just like go straight because you were getting there, I don't know, 6 miles an hour quicker. There was no downforce and it felt like somebody was pushing you from behind, which was actually the wind. But it was challenging, but we went out because we didn't know if the race was going to be like that or not. And it actually was a bit windy, not as much as what we saw on Saturday practice. But yeah, it was tough. And the issue there at the thermal is also that the runoff are like normal sand, like desert sand. And as soon as there is a little bit of wind, it just blows into the track. So you get there one lap, it would be a ton of grip. You would get on the other lap and it would just be completely no grip at all. But it was challenging.
Before I'm going to let Chase get in after this question, but I want to talk about qualifying. I thought qualifying was cool. I love the shootout style. I love the overtake. I think that's something that we need to be looking at for the future because there was something about the guys just getting out there. You either had one lap or maybe two. Like, obviously, you had to go out and do it after a red flag.
Yeah.
But I thought that was very interesting. People trying to get on the overtake as soon as possible really made the cars kick on traction, and traction seemed to be a big struggle for a lot of cars. Can you tell people how kind of, I guess, did you enjoy it, first of all? And then what was the most difficult part about, like, obviously you guys had a fast car, but what was the most difficult part about implementing the overtake to your overall lap?
Yeah, I mean, it made a big change. Like, I would say that it was probably 6/10 to 8/10 with that 40
Wow.
seconds of overtake. It was, as soon as the wheel was straight, was pushing that overtake. And, it's not a massive, massive difference, but it's enough that you will spin the tires and that car balance changes a lot. I liked it, but it's true that I didn't like the fact of, like, it was only a 8-minute qualifying. And I was in the qualifying that we had red flag. I was using my overtake. I only had like 13 seconds left. I had 4 corners left. And then suddenly the red came when I was on a really good lap.
Ultimate disaster for a driver.
Disaster.
You're on the heater of a lap, and then you're like, nope, all right.
Yeah, I wanted to stop the car and cry there in the middle of turn 8. But honestly, that felt like, man, if this was like Q1 in a normal race weekend, it would have been really tough because there was some cars like, I think, McLaren, they already done their lap and using the overtake without having any compromise with the red flag, which this is good for them. Like, they were able to do it faster than us, and we risk it by just warming the tires one more lap. But I like the fact that you only had one perfect lap and you had to put everything together. But probably I would keep it, for example, for Fast 6. I think that would be amazing to just get Q1 and Q2. It's like normal as we always have. And then Fast 6, you get used tires and 40 seconds of overtake, which that would be awesome because we would get really fast laps. It would be super challenging and you would have only one go. That's it. It would be just like a one lap, like the good old days. And I think that would make it super exciting. But it was very fun for a driver. I mean, you knew you had those 40 seconds, they were gold, one lap, and you couldn't lock, you couldn't do any mistake. Like you had to put everything together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I do like the Fast 6 idea too. That could be something. There's something about just engaging that more power, seeing the lights flash on the steering wheel, kind of gets people excited. I enjoyed it. Chase, go ahead here for Alex.
Yeah, what's up, Alex? It's our first time getting a chat. I definitely wanted to just commend you first and foremost on your abilities on road and streets. You were very good at driving. I don't know if you have a nickname. I gave you one. It was Street Shark, Alex Palou. You tear up them streets. I've seen you do it. St. Pete though, last week I did kind of want to talk a little bit about that. We were all a little nervous with Chip Ganassi Racing and with you guys because I expected you to get out there, and just swim to victory. That was one of those deals, when you're on the street. So how much changed between St. Pete and Thermal Club weekend? Were there any internal talks about the results from that race? And did you guys do anything to improve outside of mentality going into this weekend?
I mean, we struggled more than what we wanted. But with that said, we finished 6th. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not terrible. It's not great. I get that, but it was not terrible. We had 2 cars in the top 10. Scott had a stall during a pit stop, and he still finished 9th. So it was not a completely terrible result. It was not a great result. But St. Pete at the same time, it's a place that we've in general struggled a little bit, except last year where Marcus won and Scott finished 3rd, which was amazing. But me personally, also I struggled every year in St. Pete. It's something that I need to get on top of St. Pete, and hopefully it will be next year. But it's tough. And then of course we talked about. I mean, Chip wants us to win every single race, every single practice, and he gives us everything we need to do that. So when we don't do that, he wants to know why, and we also want to know why. It's like, hey, why is other teams better than us? It's not only one team. It was like 3 teams that were in front of us. So we made some changes, but it's not like the mentality was not right or that the setup was not right. It was just that we were missing that little bit of confidence for the drivers to push and to get 100% out of the cars. So, I mean, setup changes almost every single track. So Long Beach will be a lot better. We normally tend to be a bit faster there, and I'm a bit more comfortable. Hopefully we can go to Long Beach and win there.
I love that. What do you think about your nickname? Do you approve? Can I get your approval?
I approve. 100%. As long as it's a good name and it's aggressive and it's like
the Street Shark.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's
I
him.
wish it was true, though. I wish that every time I was on the streets or road, I would be a killer. I don't think that's the way. But I love it. I love it. I approve it.
All right.
You're good across the diverse schedule. You're not just on the streets. It's ovals too. This guy runs fast at Indy. It's all good. But we're gonna stick with it.
Let's see that we need to improve on the ovals. I need to improve on the ovals. But yeah, we'll get there as well. We'll get. I mean, I have a lot of chances this year with so many ovals. So.
Well, so many. Yeah, so many ovals.
It is. It is.
I know.